Hello friends, I am MD Harun Al Rashid and it's my YouTube channel Harun Biozone. Today in this video, I will discuss about 50 very important MCQ questions with great details. These questions are very important for different biology-based exams like NEET, slst, SSC, csir, net, SET, GATE and others exams. So don't be late, let's start. Question number 1, question of 51 says, consider the following statements. 1. When a nerve fiber is stimulated, a profound changes is produced in the electrical properties in steady potential. Option number 2. Upon excitation, the resting potential suddenly changes. Option number 3. It is due to sudden and several hundredfold increase in permeability to Na plus ions. With Na plus ions moving inside the point of stimulation, the positive charge inside the nerve cell increases and reaches a peak called action potential. This is the nerve fiber. In normal resting condition, the outer side of the axial lemma is filled with positive ions, that is sodium plus, but inner side of the axial lemma is filled with potassium ion and others negatively organic ions, so overall charge is negative. This is the resting potential. When stimulus come outside to the nerve cell, the resting potential is breached and the sodium ion is opened. So sodium enter inside the nerve fiber and potassium outside of the nerve fiber and produce action potential. And this action potentially, so upon excitation, the resting potential suddenly changed. It is due to sudden and several hundredfold increase the permeability of sodium. When the stimulus is come, the permeability of sodium ions is increased several hundredfolds. Okay, and with sodium ion moving inside the point of stimulus, when the sodium ion move inside the stimulus point, the positive charge of the nerve cells increase. The positive charge inside, the positive charge means sodium, Na plus charge is increased in the inside of the nerve cell and forms the action potential. So here 1, 2, 3 and 4 all options are correct. Question number 52 says, the segment of myofibrils that is called sarcomere. Sarcomere is the unit of muscle contraction. And sarcomere is the portion between the one Z disc to another Z disc. That is one Z line to the another next Z line is called the sarcomere. Sarcomere is the basic unit of muscle contraction. What is A band? A band is the overlapping portion of actin and myosin. This is A band. From here to here, this portion where the actin and myosins are overlapped, this is called A region. What is age zone? Age zone means only the region where actin and myosin are not overlapped. Okay. This is the portion of A band where only myosins is present and not actins are overlapped with the myosin. Next question 53. The muscle fatigues occur due to the release of acetylcholine, lactic acid, adrenaline. None of these. The correct option of this question is lactic acid. Normally, in the respiration process, glucose breaks down into pyruvate in glycolysis process. Okay. Then pyruvate. The fate of the pyruvate is two different types. That is, if oxygen is available in our muscles, that pyruvate convert into acetyl coenzyme A, then into Krebs cycle. Krebs cycle produce 38 ATP molecule or 36 ATP molecule. But if oxygen supply is insufficient in our muscle, that means oxygen level is decreased, then the pyruvate do not convert into acetyl CoA, but in the presence of lactate dehydrogenase enzyme, it convert into lactic acid. This lactic acid, due to absence of oxygen or when oxygen level is very low, this lactic acid is produce only 2 ATP molecule, so muscle become fatigue. Adrenaline is an emergency hormone that causes fight or flight condition. Acetylcholine is a neurotransmitter. Question number 54 says, consider the following statements. Propagation of nerve impulse in a myelinated nerve fiber is different from that of unmyelinated fibers. The impulse actually travels by leaping through the nodes of Ranvier in an unmyelinated fibers. The local circuits occurs only at the internodes, and at each node the action potential is boosted to the same height by ionic mechanism. In the rest of the internode, such an extent is not possible due to the presence of myelin sheath acting as an insulator. So let us know that there, on the basis of sheathing or myelinated sheath, on the basis of myelinated sheath, on the axonema, there is two type of nerves are present. That is myelinated, where myelin sheath is present, and non-myelinated, where myelin sheath are not present. Myelin sheath is a one type of lipid, sphingolipid, and it is produced in case of CNS, central nervous system. It is produced from ependymal cell, but in case of peripheral nervous system, it produced from Schwann cell. Okay, this myelin sheath, this green color myelin sheath is not conduct nerve impulse. Okay, so when the myelinated fiber present, when the myelinated sheath is present, the nerve impulse transfer from one node of Ranvier to another node of Ranvier, not through the whole neurolemma. So nerve impulse move very faster in myelinated sheath, but in case of non-myelinated sheath, the nerve impulse transfer smoothly through the neurolemma. If myelin sheath is removed or break down, the nerve impulse transfer very slowly and cause different type of disease like sclerosis, multiple sclerosis. So propagation of nerve impulse in a myelinated nerve fiber is different from that of unmyelinated nerve fiber. Definitely in case of myelinated nerve fiber, very fast. Nerve impulse transfer very fast and slow process in unmyelinated nerve fiber. The impulse actually travels by leaping through the nodes of Ranvier in an unmyelinated fiber, not. In case of this happen only in myelinated nerve fiber. The local circuits occur only at the internode, and each node the action potential is boosted to the same height by ionic mechanism. This nerve impulse is transferred from one node of Ranvier to the another next node of Ranvier. So this is correct option. In the rest of internodes, such extent is not possible due to the presence of myelin sheath acting as an insulator. Not the correct option. Correct. The wrong answer of this question is option number D, 2 and 3. The local circuit occur only at the internode, and at each node the action potential is boosted to the same height by ionic mechanism. It is not a correct option. The correct option is 1. Correct option is 1 and 4. Next question. The edge disc in the skeletal muscle fiber is due to the absence of myofibrils in the central portion of a band. Not in the central portion, myofibril myosin is present. So this option is wrong. The central gap between myosin filament in the A band. Central gap between myosin filament in the A band. This is not gap. This is a myosin band or myosin myofibril is present. The central gap between actin filament. This is actin filament and this is actin filament. The central gap between the actin filaments extending through myosin filament in the A band. In the A band, edge disc means in the A band. A band means where the actin and myosin are overlapped. This is A band. So between the actin filament, the band where the myosin extends is called the A band. Is edge disc. Option number C is correct. Question number 56 says myosin bridges can be prevented from combining actin by two regulator protein in resting muscle. This is the troponin. This is troponin and this fiber is called tropomyosin. When calcium ion attached to the troponin portion, the structural changes occur and the myosin head attached to the actin molecules or troponin region. In the absence of calcium ion, the troponin do not change its structure, so myosin head do not bind to it. So here option is troponin and tropomyosin. Question number 57 says, consider the following statements. Cross bridge can cause muscle contraction. Definitely, cross bridge can cause muscle contraction. They are able to oscillate back and forth and hook up with the active site on action. Definitely, this myosin head binds with the actin filament, then it forces into this side. So back and forth mechanism on actin filament. The bridges enable the thin filament to thin filament means thin filament is the actin and thick filament is the myosin. Okay. The bridges enable the thin filament to pull the thick filament by a kind of back and forth movement. Definitely back. In this side they contract the thin filament. A single bridge thus hooks onto the active sites, pulls the thin filament a short distance, then releases it again and hooks on the next active site. The myosin binds to the active site or troponin side of the actin filament, then contract or muscle contraction through the sliding movement to the small distance and again release and again bind another or next active site. So option number D is 1, 2 and 3 and 4 all are right. Question number 58 says, why can cardiac muscle fiber contract for longer period than skeleton fiber? Cardiac muscle is self-excitatory. Definitely is self-excitatory, but not related to longer period of contraction. Extracellular calcium partially controls the strength and length of the contraction. This is the correct option. Option number B is the correct option. System of T tubules, that is the T tubules, transverse tubule or T tubules, are more developed in cardiac muscle. Maybe T tubules more developed and it's increase the release of calcium ions into the cardiac muscle, but not directly related to the longer period contraction. Cardiac muscle is uninucleate rather than multinucleate. Cardiac muscle is uninucleate, but this characteristic is not represent the longer period of contraction. So correct option is B. Extracellular calcium partially controls the strength and length of contraction. Next question 59. One of the following statement about muscular presence is not true. Choose that one. A muscle fiber contract in all or none fashion. There is a slight latent period that occurs between when the stimulus arrives at the muscle and when muscles contract. Muscle will add motor units to contraction, increasing the overall force of contraction. When a person is fully at rest, none of the muscles are contracted. Not some muscles contract. Some muscle contract. When you relax, some muscle contract that maintain the posture of the body. Maintain the posture of the body. Not true. D is not true. Other options are correct. Question number 60. During muscle contraction, the cross bridge discharge. When the cross bridge discharge, when ATP is bind to the myosin head, then it detaches. Question number 61 says, consider the following statements about pollination. Pollination is transfer of pollen from one flower or anther to the stigma of the another flower. So transfer of pollen grain from anther to the ovule, not ovule, that is stigma. That is stigma in the same or different flower is called pollination. The pollination by wing is called anemophilous, right? Pollination is a prerequisite for seed and fruit development in all flowering plants, not prerequisite. It is not prerequisite. Seeds may develop in some water ferns without fermentation. Ferns are non-myelinated. Non-flowering. So option number 2 is the correct. Question number 62. During pregnancy, corpus luteum having secreted increasing quantities of progesterone that helps build up endometrium of the uterus. This is the corpus luteum. After egg cell is released, the remaining portion of the Graafian follicle is called corpus luteum. Corpus luteum secrete progesterone. This progesterone help to maintain the endometrium wall for the fetus. Okay. Suddenly decline in function, but after 12 weeks, when the placenta is properly formed in the uterus, then placenta act as an endocrine gland and produce sufficient amount of human chorionic gonadotropin and also progesterone. So the function of the corpus luteum become reduced. It is 12 weeks. Question number 63 says, plants that flowers after reaching a certain stage of development irrespective of the day length. The plant flowering occur but do not depend on day length. That is called day neutral plant. Okay. Example of day neutral plants are corn, tomato, sunflower, corn, tomato, sunflower, etc. Question number 64 says the plants growing in temperate climates. Temperate climates means where temperate climate means moderate temperature with distinct season 16 to 37 degrees centigrade, 250 to 300 milliliter rain, etc. occur. Short day plant, day neutral plant, long day plant, and long day short day plant. Correct option is short day plant. So what is the example of the short day plant? Short day plant like cotton, rice, soybean, and long day plant. Example of long day plant is wheat, radish, sugar beet, potato, spinach, etc. Next question number 65. The effect of light on flowering plant is mediated through a photoreceptor. Photoreceptor means the pigment or any type of compounds that absorb light. Which of the following is such compound? Cytochromes, phytochromes, and phycoerythrin. Here the correct option of this question is phytochromes. Phytochrome is a blue pigment that absorb red light and far red light. Red light means 600 to 700 nanometer light, and far red light means 700 to 750 nanometer light. And response in germination, detiolation, inhibition of stem, petiole elongation, chloroplast development, leaf expansion, branching, flowering, senescence. Phycoerythrin is a red pigment present in rhodophyceae plant. Phyco means algae, red pigment. Cryptochrome is an accessory pigment helping photosynthesis. And cytochrome is an electron carrier. Question number 65. So when the dark period of short day plants is interrupted by brief exposure of light, then the plant. Short day plant means light require less than 12 hours. Light require less than 12 hours. Here, this is the short day plant, where short day plant means the day length is short and night is long. So here, if the day length is increased but night or dark period is reduced, then no flower occur. When the light period is reduced and dark period is more, then flowering occur. If this dark period is break down by exposure of light, exposure of one or more times of light, then no flowering occur in short day plant. In short day plant, so produce more flower, would not bear any flower, turns into long day plant, produce flower, will not bear any flower. Question number 67 says, which of the following statements are true? Cytokinase promotes stomatal opening. Not. Stomatal opening is determined by abscisic acid. Question number 2. Option number 2. Sprays of indole 3-acetic acid can inhibit premature fruit falls. This option is correct. The growth of movement caused by unilateral stimulus are all known as nastic movement. Unilateral, and the seeds of desert plants will not germinate unless they have subjected to high temperature 1 or 2 hours for some times. The 4 option is correct and 2 option is correct, 3 is false, 1 is false. So correct option is B. Question number 68 says, which of the following plants organs have determinate growth? Determinate growth means limited growth. The plant, the leaves, internode, rhizomes, tubers, all are indeterminate growth, but only in case of fruits they are determinate growth. So here only 2 is correct. Also, tubers is limited growth, and rhizomes is the correct option. Question number 69 says, consider the following pairs plant hormones functions effects. Indole 3-acetic acid rooting in cutting. Indole 3-acetic is a rooting hormone, also called rooting hormone. Gibberellic acid, stomata closure, not. This is by abscisic acid. Ethylene, fruit ripening, right. Ethylene is also called gaseous hormone. G18 is on top of cytokinin that represents cell division. So 1, 3 and 4 is the correct option. So 1 and 3 are also 4 is the correct option. 70 number question, the genes control heredity through their control on enzyme synthesis. That one gene control the synthesis of one enzyme. That is one gene on enzyme hypothesis was proposed by Biddle and Tatum. Question number 71 says, Down syndrome, a congenital genetic disorder in human being, is caused by the duplication or non-disjunction of chromosome number 21. So here trisomy of chromosome 21 is the cause of Down syndrome that occurs in child. Trisomy means Edward syndrome. And extra X chromosome copy is Klinefelter syndrome. And defective recessive gene in homozygous condition, this is hemophilia, color blindness, etc. Question number 72 says, consider the following human disease. Anemia. Anemia means lack of iron, lack of hemoglobin due to deficiency of iron supplement. Hemophilia is a X-linked recessive disorder. Leukemia is a autosomal recessive disorder. Phenylketonuria, where phenylalanine hydroxylase enzyme is mutated or inhibited. So phenylalanine do not convert into tyrosine that produce this tyrosine is essential for the production of melanin. So which of the above diseases is hereditary in nature? Hemophilia and leukemia both are hereditary in nature. D is 2 and 3. So C is the correct option. Question number 73. Among the following, which organelles is involved in apoptosis? Apoptosis means programmed cell death. PCD. Programmed Program cell death. The program cell death is a process by where the dead cell or an unwanted cell are died by or removed by apoptosis. Apoptosis occur in mitochondria. Where from the apoptosis when apoptosis factor activate the cytochrome C oxidase enzymes come out from the mitochondria and activate caspase 1 and caspase 3 that stimulate apoptosis process. On the exposure to allergens in surrounding the degranulation and secretion of histamine from which cell leads to immediate hypersensitivity, that is mast cell. Okay, mast cell degranulate. This is the mast cell and this is the Ig antibody and antigen attached to the Ig and then degranulation occur. T helper cell. Helper T cell is the cell that is required for the activation of B cell that produce antibody and cytotoxic T cell or killer T cell. B cell means bone marrow cell or the burst of Fabrice's cells that produce antibody with the help of B cell. Question number 74 says, which of the following genetic disorder in man are caused by a dominant gene? Edwards syndrome is a duplication of 18 number chromosome. Huntington disease is caused by the mutation of single gene HTT. HTT gene is responsible. Mutation of HTT gene responsible for Huntington disease. Marfan syndrome is the mutation of single gene ABN1. Thalassemia is an autosomal recessive disorder. So a correct option is 2 and 3. The C is the correct option. Question number 75 says, which of the following plant diseases are caused by viruses? Aster yellow. First aster yellow. Aster yellow caused by Candidatus phytoplasma asteris. Candidatus phytoplasma asteris. This is fungal disease. Foot rot of paddy by Fusarium verticilloides. Fusarium verticilloides. Leaf curl of tobacco. Little leaf curl of tobacco by leaf curl tobacco virus. This is viral disease. And little leaf of sweet potato by zinc deficiency or by phycoplasma. So there is only one option. Option number 3 is correct. Now, question number 76 says, consider the following plant disease. Brown rot of potatoes, citrus dieback, tikka disease of peanut and tundu disease of wheat. Which of the following disease is or are caused by the bacteria? So let's see the causal organism of this bacteria. Brown rot of potato by Ralstonia solanacearum. Solanacearum. Citrus dieback disease. Citrus dieback Xanthomonas citri. Tikka disease of groundnut Sarcospora arachidola. Sarcospora arachidicola. And tundu disease of wheat is by Claviceps purpurea. Claviceps purpurea. So, the correct option of this question is option number C. That is only 2. Schizanthromas citri is the only bacterial disease. That is 2. Question number 77 says, which of the following plant disease is or are caused by fungi? Brown rot of potato. That is brown rot of potato by Ralstonea solanacearum. Ralstonea solanacearum. Ralstonea solanacearum is a bacteria. Bacteria. In 76 number question also 1 is the 1 correct. So 2 and 1 is bacterial disease, 3 and 4 is the fungal disease. In this case, brown rot of potato is caused by Ralstonea solanacearum. This is bacterial disease. Foot rot of potato, foot of paddy, Fusarium fusicoroi. Fusarium fusicoroi. That is fungal disease. And heart rot of beet by boron deficiency, malnutrition, nutritional deficiency. That is boron deficiency. And ticca disease of peanut is Sarcospora arachidicula. That is fungus. That is correct option is 2 and 4. That is Fusarium fungus and 4. That is C is the correct option. Next question. Question number 78 says, which of the following is a bacterial disease? Early blight of potato. That is Phytophthora infestans. This is fungal disease. Loose smart of wheat. Ustilago nuda. This is also fungal disease. Red rot of sugarcane. That is Coleotrichum falcatum. This is bacterial disease. This is a symptom of this disease. Red stripe of sugarcane. Red rot of sugarcane and red stripe of sugarcane. Both are same. So, red stripe or red rot, both are the bacterial disease. 79 number says, not red rot. Coleotrichum falcatum by red stripe of sugarcane. This is red stripe of sugarcane. So, correct option is D. Question number 79 says, the water coat disease of apple is caused by boron deficiency. This is a water coat disease of apple. Okay, this is caused by the boron deficiency. Sometimes high temperature also promote this water coat disease, or sometimes unequal distribution of nutrient in apple also caused such type of disease. The main cause is boron deficiency. Question number 18 says, a group of disease normally transmitted between vertebrate animals and man is yellow fever, plague, and teniasis, plague, rabies, smallpox, and cyclostomosis, ascaris, and plague. Their correct option are plague, rabies, and teniasis. The group of disease normally transmitted in vertebrate and man is called D. That is plague, rabies, and teniasis. Plague by Yersinia pestis. Rabies by rabies virus. Plague from rat. Rabies virus from dog. and teniasis by Tinea solium. Tinea solium. One man to another man, teniasis. Okay. Another option are encyclostomiasis. Encyclostomiasis caused by hookworm. Hookworm. Ascaris by Ascaris lumbricoides. Lumbricoides. Smallpox by variola virus. Yellow fever by parvovirus. Yellow fever by arbovirus. Next question, question number 81 says, which of the following statements are not true in respect of HIV or AIDS? HIV or AIDS. That is, which option is incorrect? HIV infection is usually spread by having sexual, right? HIV frequently spread among injection during drug users who share syringes, also right. Women can spread HIV to their babies during pregnancy, birth or breast feeding, is also right. But HIV spreads through causal contact such as sharing towels and bleedings and beddings or via swimming pools or toilet seats. This is not the correct option. Question number 82 says, a doctor advises a patient to take plenty of citrus fruit, sour fruit, guava, tomatoes and amlas over a period of 2 months regularly. What do you think is a complaint of the patient? All of these fruits like citrus fruit, guava, tomatoes, amlas are source of vitamin C. Source of vitamin C. That means antioxidant, vitamin C. Softness and pain in bones, bending and vertebral cramp. This is caused by vitamin D deficiency. Vitamin D or calcium and phosphorus deficiency. Gum spongy, swollen and bleeding easily. This is caused by vitamin C deficiency. Vitamin C deficiency. Because vitamin C is an antioxidant. Okay, the correct option is B. Blood vision, burning and dryness of eye and tongue, cracking of skin of angle of mouth. This is due to the deficiency of vitamin A. Extreme weakness, swelling and pain in legs, loss after headache. That is malnutrition. Malnutrition or anemia. Here, next question. 83 number question says, which of the following group of diseases spreads through mosquito bites among humans? Mosquito bites among humans. Malaria, filariasis and polymyelitis. Malaria by Plasmodium vivax, Plasmodium malariae, Plasmodium ovale, Plasmodium falciparum. This is spread by mosquito. This is right. Filariasis by Aedes mosquito by Uchneria bancrofti. Polymyelitis. This is not spread by polymyelitis, not spread by mosquito. This is a nervous system disease. Then encyclostomiasis, ringworm and dengue fever. Ringworm is fungal disease not transmitted by mosquito. Dengue fever, viral encephalitis and yellow fever. All of these are transmitted by mosquito. Filariasis, malaria and ascaris. Ascaris is a worms, not transmitted by mosquito. Question number 84 says, consider the following statement. Malaria can be contained with the introduction of larvicidal fish, Gambusia in pond, tanks and puddles. 2. Gambusia is highly specific in devouring larvae and female Anopheles mosquito, not highly specific. This is false. So 1 is correct and 2 is false. Only 1 is true. Question number 87 says, question 85, the atmosphere of the primitive earth before origin of life consisted of nitrogen, oxygen, ammonia, or whatever. No, there is no oxygen in that time in atmosphere. Methane, ammonia, hydrogen, water vapor. This is the correct option. B. Methane, ammonia, hydrogen and water. Methane, ammonia, hydrogen present in 2:2:1 ratio. Question number 86 says, consider the following statement. The atmosphere of primitive earth is reducing. Reducing means due to high temperature, there is a lot of hydrogen ion and electrons are present. The primary source of energy for the chemosynthetic reaction on earth leads to the origin of life was the solar energy, not solar energy, because solar energy only trapped by plant during photosynthesis. But in that time, there is no photosynthetic organism survive in that region or evolve in that time. So, solar energy is not possible. Liquid water did not exist on earth. Early earth, no, this is false. Liquid water also present. Energy for the synthesis of organic molecules from simple inorganic molecules on earth was provided by lightning, ultraviolet light and cosmic rays. This is the correct option. So, correct option, select the correct option using the code given below. 1 and 4. 1 and 4 is the correct option. Next question, question number 87. The theory of spontaneous generation of life was experimentally disproved by. The theory of spontaneous generation says the life origin from any non-living matters. This is spontaneous generation. This is proposed by Aristotle, Theophrastus, etc. etc. But this spontaneous generation first disproved by Francis Ready. Francis Ready made this experiment. He take a piece of meat and left in an open container. After a few days, he says that some maggots are grown on the meat. Then he covered this container with a cork. Then no maggot are formed. And then again he covered with covered container, no formation of maggot. Okay, but he did not properly explain why maggot did not grow on meat in the presence of cork or gauge. Okay, later Louis Pasteur first disproved that experimentally that the life originated from living things, not non-living things, and he applied by doing this swan neck flask. Swan neck flask. Experiment. First, he taken a nutrient medium and heat applied. Okay, left the flask it, no bacteria present. Then heat applied, remove the neck part, so air directly contact with this in the medium, so bacteria grow. Heat applied, the flask is sideways, so the nutrition medium come in contact with air, so bacteria grow. Okay. This experiment proved that all organisms are present in air, and from air to the culture medium they are produced, survive. So organisms are produced from, or living things produced from pre-existing living things. Question number 88 says, which of the following hallucination is taken by smoking, chewing and sniffing? This is marijuana. Marijuana is taken by smoking, chewing and sniffing. Psilocybin is a mushroom drug. LSD from ergot of rye. Ergot of rye or Clavus purpurea. Mescaline is a psychoactive drug. Active drug from cuet and San Pedro cactus. San Pedro cactus. Question number 89 says, which of the following drug caused illusion involving people's feelings more than their sense, and people's feels that others are trying to injure them? That is marijuana. Cocaine from the leaves of erythroxylon coca. Cocaine taken from leaves of erythroxylon coca plant. Nicotine tabacum, tobacco plant. Opium, poppy plant. Question number 90 says, excessive or chronic use of which of the following drug is the root cause of lung cancer, cough, bronchitis, emphysema, hypertension, cardiovascular symptoms? That is caffeine, nicotine, cocaine, methadone. That is nicotine or cigarette or chewing tobacco is the cause of lung cancer, cough, bronchitis, emphysema, hypertension and cardiovascular symptoms. Methadone is a methamphetamine. Methamphetamine is one type of stimulant. Effect CNS, central nervous system. Effect central nervous system and cardiovascular system. Cardiovascular system. Question number 91 says, study the following statements. Tea plants thrives best in alkaline soil with rainfall 150 cm and temperature 20 to 30 degrees centigrade. Tea plants mainly grow in acidic soil with 150 to 250 centimeter rainfall and 16 to 37 degree centigrade. So this option is incorrect. The most important stimulant both tea and coffee is caffeine. Right. Wine, a popular alcoholic drink, especially among the women, is prepared by fermentation, not distillation. Fermentation and distillation used to produce more strong alcoholic beverage. Alcoholic beverage like brandy. The drug of cocaine is obtained from the roasted seed, not roasted seed, the coca leaf of the etc. and coca, that is seeds of the coca, leaf of the egg, not for roasted, not seed, leaf. So here the correct option is 2 and 3. Here the correct option of this question is 2 and 3. Answer number 2 and 3. This option also considered as correct. Okay. Not considered. So 2 and 3. 2 and 3 is the correct option. Question number 92 says, consider the following statement: Cuba is considered the sugar bowl of the world. This is correct. Because large scale of sugar production. Large scale of sugar production. Large scale of sugar production occurred in the Cuba of Brazil. Sugar was rare commodity in Europe till the Middle Age, right? Because they eat spicy food. Eat spicy, not sugar. Honey is rich source of vitamins and minerals, is right. All green plants synthesize sugars that are subsequently converted into lipid polysaccharide proteins. This is also right. So all of the above options are correct. Options are correct. Next question: fruit from which of the following plants are sources of commercial fiber? The commercial fiber produced from fruits. The correct option of this question is 1. Cotton, because the commercial fiber from coconut is produced from the husk of the fruit, not from fruit husk. Okay. Flax is a stem fiber. Silkworm from silkworm. The true fruit actually cotton, silkworm. So only one option is correct. Question number 94 says, catalytic converter are fitted into automobile to reduce emission of harmful gases. Catalytic converter changes unburned hydrocarbon into carbon dioxide and water that is beneficial to, or that is less toxic to the environment, carbon dioxide and water. Because this oxidation is done by the catalytic converter like palladium, rhodium, and platinum. These metals converted is high unburned hydrocarbon into carbon dioxide and water. Question 95. Electrostatic precipitator or ESP is used to remove the particulate matter in the smoke released from the industry. This is the correct, because this is a catalytic, it is electrostatic precipitator where this is used positively charged electrode and negatively charged electrode. When the poisonous gases supply from this high voltage electrode, the positively charged particles are attached to this plate and negatively charged particles are attached to this plate. So the fresh air is removed from the industry. Question number 96. Niche is defined as niche, a component of the ecosystem, an ecologically adapted zone of a species, the physical position and functional role of a species within the community. C is the correct option. This niche concept is first proposed by Joseph. This is a concept. Joseph Grinnell, 1917, and is explained by Charles Elton, 1927. Next question, 97. The formula of exponential growth curve. This is the exponential growth curve or J-shaped growth curve. This is the sigmoidal growth curve, or S-shaped growth curve. This is the or also called logistic growth curve. In such type of growth, there is low limitation of food and resources, but here food and resources or food or habitat are limited. So the population growth is under control at certain times, that is called carrying capacity. But here the exponential growth curve, the food and resources are unlimited, so growth is like J-shaped. So the exponential growth curve represents dn by dt Rn. dn by dt means number of population after t times, n means number of initial population after rate of growth. And in case of sigmoidal growth curve or logistic growth curve, the equation is dn by dt Rn k minus n by k. K is equal to carrying capacity. That represent the population growth at certain level where the food and resources are limited. Question number 98 says, which is not a feature of R-selected species? The species are divided into two types, that is R-selected species and K-selected species. The R-selected species found in lower organisms and like snail, but K-selected species found in higher organism. R-selected in unstable environment and K-selected species grow in stable environment. R-selected species are small in size, but K-selected species are large in size. R-selected species, energy used to make individual is low, but energy used to make individual is high. Many offspring are produced early maturity, less offspring are produced and delay maturity. Short life expectancy and long life expectancy. Just example like insect and human. Each individual reproduce only once, but each reproduce more than once. The density dependent, density independent, density dependent. Follow type 3 surface curve, follow type 1 or type 2. That is type 1 or this is only type 3 surface curve. Where in young stage number of population is high, but it is randomly decreased during the age increase. But in case of type 2 curve, there is death and birth rate equal or randomly drop down. But in case of K-selected species or type 1 species, due to high parental care, the growth rate is smooth, but death rate is occur or aging process occur after certain period of time. But here the life expectancy or survivorship rate is randomly decreasing. So parental care is the correct option for R-selected species because they taken less parental care. Question number 99 says, organism exhibit wide tolerance of environmental factor exhibit. Ecologist Selford proposed these terms. Proposed the organism with wide tolerance having high distribution and high population. Wide tolerance means distributed in different places of Earth. That is wide distribution and high population. This theory proposed by Selford. Question number 100 says, bird population is seen to decrease due to thinning of egg cell due to biomagnification, especially in non-biodegradable protein DDT. Here you can see the concentration of DDT is 0.000003 ppm, but zooplankton when it taken phytoplankton, but zooplankton, in case of zooplankton, this absorbs 0.04 ppm, but when this fish eat the zooplankton, the amount of DDT is 0.5 ppm and like 0.2 ppm and 25 ppm. Due to the increase of tropic level, the concentration of DDT decreases. It's called biomagnification. Eutrophication means accumulation of pollutant like sulfur and phosphorus in the ecosystem or in water is called eutrophication. Greenhouse effect by carbon dioxide, CFC, and methane. Ozone depletion by different type of pollution. Correct option is biomagnification. And last question of this series is 101. Which of the following receive the maximum energy? You can see in this pyramid, maximum energy are taken by plants from sun, and only 10% of total energy is transferred to the next tropic level. It's like 20,000 kilocalorie per meter square per year is absorbed in plant. Then only 10%, that is 2,000 kilocalorie, transfer to the herbivore. Then primary consumer, secondary consumer 200, only 10% of 2,000 kilocalorie. Then 10% of 200 kilocalorie, 10% of. This rule is proposed by Lindman. Lindman proposed the 10% rules. That is, only 10% energy transfer from one tropic level to another tropic level, and 90% used in respiration. Okay, so maximum energy is producer, plants. So thank you for watching this video. If you have any queries, please comment me on comment box. Thank you for watching again. Thank you.